The only real God is the one that you believe in. Start looking for the God in others. And if you find you're tuning into a wave, well then I don't know much about being saved.
Hello, friends.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome into another episode of Spiritual Philos-o-Chatter with the Joneses. I'm Danny Jones.
And I am Samantha Jones.
My lovely wife. Yes, you are. Here we are, episode 44.
Double fours.
And what is the topic?
This is chakras.
Chakras.
Yeah.
This one I don't really know a lot about, but I'm trying to...
You know, I'll be honest, like, I know, up until I did this research, I knew, like, the bare minimum. So
Right.
I'm definitely not talking about this coming from somebody that knows a lot about it. I'm kind of learning with everybody.
Right.
So,
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, before we hop into that, anything from last week?
yeah, I do have a couple of things. So last week we did the psychic realm episode, and there was a couple of readings that I did, and one of them I got a response on. I'm not going to read her response because it was very personal. This was a love reading. This was from Kat.
Okay.
It was a love reading, but the reading was accurate, but a lot of the stuff that I said had already happened, or she was currently going through it. But she made a lot of changes in her life, and so after we talked a little bit about that, she sent me this, and I wanted to read it.
Cool.
Now, the first time I read this to you, I started crying, so I have to keep myself together.
Keep it together.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. You did a reading on my pup last July, a few days after his passing. I was on the brink of not making it until I found the Facebook page you run. Your reading of him, knowing that he wasn't really gone, it gave me the strength to keep going. And then episodes of your podcasts, like the signs episode, helped me interpret signs from my pup and the universe, which has led to a whole new belief system. My pup Elvis was even able to lead me to our new family member, Pee-wee. I have had more self-growth since that reading on August 2nd, 2019, than I have had in the 27 years before it. So I thank you a million times over. I'm sure it's weird or even a little creepy having a person you've never met say that you have been an integral part of positive change in their lives. But like I said, that reading was a turning point for me. Whew, I made it through without crying.
Good job. I saw you starting to crack.
Yeah,
For the
you did.
folks at home that can't see her, I saw it.
I knew you caught it. I felt it. I'm like, oh, he saw that.
That was really nice. That was nice. Thank you, Cap, for giving your feedback.
Yeah. The reason I read that was because that's what I want to do. And I want our listeners to know that. I want them to know that this is more than just about psychic readings and talking to spirits for me. It's about actually seeing people change their lives because they now understand what's actually out there and what's going on with our universe. And I started thinking about like other things that I could do along these lines. And I'm started thinking like I'm almost like a life coach because I'm not a therapist, but I really do want to help people get their lives on a track where they're happier.
I think I would call it a light coach.
That's a very good term. That's a very good term. I like that.
Just because you're not telling necessarily people how to live their lives.
No.
I mean, if they want to ask you to tap into your psychic ability
Right.
and predict future things for them, well, that's their choice.
Right.
But you're still not telling them what to do with their life.
No, I'm definitely not.
It's free will. And once you see that, like, I think what she's going through is like when you no longer see the world for what you thought it was, then all that kind of opens up. And you realize that free will is this whole other entity within this game, this thing we're doing, you know?
It makes you more relaxed just in general to not worry about things that you worried before. Worried about before.
Exactly.
For sure. So thank you for that, Kat. I can't tell you how much that means to me. And he's witness to the fact that the first time I read it, I cried. I sobbed.
And the second one, too. She just,
almost,
she kept it together. But
I did. Yeah.
No, that was touching. That was nice.
Yeah, it was. Okay, so moving on. So I wanted to talk about something that happened to me this week because we talked about the psychic realm last week. And I talk a lot about how in my growth as a psychic, I have learned that when I see something weird or I hear something that may be hard to deliver, I'm still supposed to say it as I see it and as I hear it. So I had a very interesting thing happen to me. I was doing a lost pet reading this week. And I was seeing things that the dog was seeing where he was. And one of the things that I saw was a barn with a vending machine next to it. Mm-hmm. Now, those two things to me don't go together.
Right.
I saw a lot of red. I did see a barn and I saw a mailbox that was red and a car that was red. But the vending machine didn't make any sense to me. But I'm like, okay, I have to give it to her because maybe it makes sense to her, you know?
Sure.
So I told her, I said, I see a barn with a vending machine, thinking she was going to come back and say that, well, what are you talking about? She said, I saw that yesterday.
Wow.
It's like, whoa, okay. Because even for myself, I thought maybe I was misinterpreting it.
Right.
I thought the vending machine was maybe
Yes.
like a trough or something,
Yes.
you know? But it just goes to show that you have to deliver those things.
Well, and you're trusting your intuition. You're trusting that,
Oh, yeah.
and you're giving this information. Going, what the heck? I mean,
What
does this have
mean?
to do with any of it? You never know.
No, you don't.
So, even to people out there that are trying to work at this or pay attention, if you have those kind of things, don't always write them off as something, that'll never make sense.
And you can write them down too. Like if you don't want to deliver them, write them down, and then maybe later they'll make sense to you. Because sometimes I have visions and I'm just like, I don't know, these don't really make sense, and so I'll write them down. But never discount them because they really can be more accurate than you realize, and then you left kind of blowing yourself away, like I did with that one.
Yeah, I mean, even myself, some of the most absurd thoughts that I had have now happened.
Right.
So,
yeah.
And I kind of shared a different one with you today, and I was sort of like, I keep feeling this thought about this particular issue and the avenue, and
right.
And I don't know why it just keeps coming back, like popping in my head.
Yeah.
And it seems bizarre, but okay.
I had that happen to me yesterday. I actually put it on Facebook, so might as well predict it right here. But all day I saw Queen having a Cirque du Soleil show. Like they should have, I just kept hearing it. They should have a Cirque du Soleil show. Well, why am I thinking about it? Because I hear Queen on the radio every day. So I guess maybe that's a prediction that they're going to
patent it now.
I will go. Patent it. Well, I don't think I can. It's a Cirque du Soleil. I have nothing to do with it. But I'll go. That'll be so much fun. Can you imagine?
For sure.
Be like the Beatles one. That one was awesome.
That was very cool.
Yeah. So that's all I got.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that was good feedback. Thanks, Kat.
Yes, thank you, Kat. And yeah.
Cool. Well, okay, episode 44, Chakras.
Chakras. So like I said, or we said, we're not experts at this. We're really learning along with everybody on this. So I got a lot of my information off of various articles at the internet that I will post on our website. But let's see. First, I like to start with what the definitions are. So what are chakras? Chakras are the 7 main energy centers of the body. The word chakra means wheel. So basically, they start from 1 all the way up your body, and we're going to go through each one. There's 7 points throughout your body that are these chakras, and they're different energy centers.
Cool.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. The next thing I wrote was, maybe you've heard unblocking your chakras. This is something that you do hear, even on the radio, I've heard it. Like, my chakras are blocked.
Yeah.
Lately. It's weird.
More people are aware of it now.
Exactly, right? This refers to the idea that when all of our chakras are open, energy can run through them freely and harmonious and exist between the physical, body, mind, and spirit. There we go. I do work on balancing my chakras, and I'm going to explain towards the end how to do that, where you can find some great guided meditations for this. But I've never really thought about like what each chakra is about and breaking it down a little bit. And each one that we're going to go into, it is about different things going on in your body that you may notice. So pay attention, because if you have certain ailments throughout your body or feel, anxiety or whatever, it very well could be unbalanced chakras. Very well.
Yeah.
So I did ask our listeners how many of them were familiar with chakras, and 93% said that they were familiar, which I think, again, for our show is because of the demographic. I think if you ask the general public, they may not know. But only 25% of those people balance their chakras. So hopefully after this episode, more people will be like, I should do that.
Yeah.
That's, Okay, so let's see. So let's talk about the different chakras.
Let's do it.
Okay, so as I said, there's 7 of them, and we're going to start with the root chakra. The root chakra is the base of your spine, and this is where you're grounded. When I do my chakra meditation, actually every day when I do my shower meditation, I ground myself. And what that means is that you're connected to the earth. You're one with the earth. It's being grounded and rooted. It's like nothing can knock you over, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I do like a grounding meditation where I imagine that I'm a tree and my roots go into the ground. And then a lot of times will go from there into this one with the root chakra. So the root chakra, like I said, it's located at the base of your spine. The color for it is red. So if you see a lot of times when they represent chakras, they'll have like a person, like an outline of a person, and you'll see the different colors going up.
Oh, okay.
And like on the bracelets, we have the bracelets. Those are chakra bracelets.
Gotcha.
And each bead is a different color, represents a different chakra.
Got it.
So the color that represents your root chakra is red. Okay. I told you it grounds you. Let's see. If it's not balanced, you may feel unsafe. You may have anxiety disorders, fears, or nightmares. This area is also known for if you have issues with your bladder, lower back, feet, eating disorders, anything like that. Because this is the root of your whole body, this is where you're balanced and you're being grounded from. Right. So it needs to be it needs to be taken care of before the other chakras, which is why it comes first. It makes a lot of sense. But it also is the chakra of basic needs. So if your basic needs like food, water, shelter, if those things aren't being covered, then your root chakra will be unbalanced. Okay. I want to say something first before I go any further. This is obviously not proven scientific fact.
I mean, it goes with belief.
It goes with belief. When we first started, I did not believe this.
Right.
I thought this was a bunch of hocus pocus, as my mom would say.
Right.
I believe it truly now because I balance my chakras and I feel the difference and I see the difference in myself when I do.
Right.
So while some of this may sound like, give it a chance.
Yeah.
Because
I agree.
It really, you never know what you might find if you just give these kinds of things a little bit of a chance.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. If you suffer from lower back pain, sciatica, water retention, this is definitely an area to keep in mind. And sometimes you just went through a bad flare-up of sciatica. I go through it too. And so we're going to get into it later, but one of the ways to help with your chakras is through Reiki. Yeah. And that's something that you've done it for me. It helps. Yeah, it does. So we'll get into that one later. But so that's your root chakra. Okay. So then going up, you're going to your sacral chakra, which is in your lower abdomen. So about 2 inches below your belly button. And the color that represents this is the color orange. This is what controls your pleasure. This is actually like sexuality and female, male, reproductive, that kind of thing. Cool. Well-being and, pleasure and self-control. When it's open, we are more alert and less susceptible to fatigue. So if you're having fatigue issues, that could be a chakra that's blocked. What I wrote down is we are hardwired to always want more. And you and I talk about this a lot. Yeah. We talk about how as humans, we're never really truly satisfied. No. And so this is that chakra that when you're feeling that, it could be blocked. When you're feeling like everything you have maybe isn't enough and you need more, this is where that's coming from. Right. Let's see.
I wonder if that part comes from the part of our soul that loves being in a body. Mm-hmm. Because when we do go to the other side, we're not occupying a body. We're our true essence of ourselves. Right. Like we're just a spirit, you know? So I think about that. Like you come here and that's part of that soul's learning is to not overindulge or certain things maybe,
Yes.
but you get into the body and they're right back at
Exactly.
what maybe is not good for them, you know?
That's exactly right.
Like a dieter kind of where,
Mhm.
you know, it's like a crash diet and then you're off the wagon for a while and then
Right.
you're back on and you're off.
Well, I could see, like, you know, when you go to the other side and you don't have certain things there, like the food and sex or whatever our pleasures are here, you don't have those there. Those are the things you want to come back here to be a human for, and those are a lot of those things that we make ourselves feel guilty for. And really, we have to learn that there's no guilt in being human and having human emotions.
No.
And
The overindulgence and controlling that is just how to control yourself.
Yes.
In general.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
It really has nothing to do with what you were just saying, which just escaped me, but sorry.
Well, I think, like, when it comes to this, a couple of the things that it says is that feelings of guilt and shame will make this sacral chakra unaligned. And so it goes with the whole being, you know, reproductive and sexually related and that's a lot of what this chakra is about. And if you're having problems in that area, this would definitely be one to look at, whether it's emotional or physical, because the emotional can clog just as much, if not more, if you're in your own head, especially if you are feeling guilty about feeling certain ways. And, you know, that's something that we've learned with the universe, and we'll do a whole episode about that too, is that these types of things that humans are ashamed of that we really shouldn't be. It's human nature.
Yeah.
You know, not to get too deep on it.
No, I don't think we should either.
No. Okay, so as far as physical goes, if that is blocked, you might experience things like kidney stones, UTIs, lower back issues.
Got it.
The third one is your solar plexus chakra, and this is your upper abdomen in the stomach area above your belly button. I have a lot of problems with this one, and I can tell that it's always clogged. So I call it clogged, even though it's unbalanced. So if I use the word clogged...
Can we get a chakra plumber in the house?
You'll explain when I talk about how I balance my chakras. But yeah, it's okay. So if it's clogged, yeah, I totally okay. I have a lot of stomach issues, and so I figure that that's where it's coming from.
Got
But the color that's associated with the solar plexus chakra is yellow. It's self-worth, emotion, and digestion. It impacts how we digest food and how we feel about the outside world and what's going on around us. If it's blocked, we may feel a lot of self-doubt or a lot of stomach issues. When this chakra is open, you may move faster in your life and may feel more like your true self. Like I said, digestive issues, sugar addiction, acne, poor metabolism. You know what? I don't have a lot of problems. I just have unbalanced chakras. Because all these things, I'm like, wait, lower back.
Yeah, I was looking at that.
I'm like,
the lower back.
The digestive, sugar addiction, the thyroid problems, the metabolism. Yeah, just unbalanced chakras. It'll fix it all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, moving on. So that is your solar plexus chakra. So if you're having issues, you know, with emotion and digestion, that's your area to focus on. Moving up to the heart chakra. I do a lot of times because I do Reiki, and in Reiki, you do look for the energy centers that are blocked. And I would say that probably this is the most commonly blocked area is the heart chakra.
Okay.
And I think it makes sense. I mean, obviously, we're up to the heart level. We know we're talking about our heart here, right? The color for this is green, which always throws me off because if you're like me, you're like red is just the color of the heart, and it
it's
should
interesting,
be,
but
right.
But it makes sense.
Yeah,
where they're coming from,
right? So it's in the center of your chest, above your heart, is where this energy zone is. When it's open, you're able to love more openly and be loved and be more compassionate and have more empathy. So I think that's why this is the one that is unbalanced for a lot of people, because those are things that are very difficult. It's hard to love somebody when you can't love yourself. So if you don't have self-love, then that's going to be closed off as it is.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I agree.
blocked heart chakras will have difficulty opening up to people. As far as physical things in this area, you would get things like asthma. And I thought this was interesting with shoulder pain, but I guess it's all relevant because it's all in this general area. Like your solar plexus, the one down would be, everything in that area, your spleen and
Right.
stuff. So yeah, the heart chakra is definitely one that I would say if you're having a lot of emotional issues, that's a good one to check. And I think, for all of us, these are normal. All these things are normal.
Yeah.
Number 5 is your throat chakra, which is located in your throat, right by your Adam's apple. It's represented by the light blue color. And this is an area of communication and self-expression and truth. This is one area that I do find that when I have a hard time talking about things, I'll get sore throats, and I never understood why. And I realize now, I think it has something to do with that energy center being blocked because you just can't get the words out.
Right.
I don't know. That's something that lately has been more of a problem for me. And doing this research, I was like, wow. Not that I don't talk, as I do. It's more like when I try and talk, sometimes the words don't come out right.
Right.
They're like blah, 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 blah.
Mine's totally unclogged. I have no problem with that chakra.
Well,
Yeah.
obvious.
The first two, maybe not, but that one, man, that's all good. That's always been good.
Yeah.
That's my main chakra right there.
That one's always open. Well, maybe if yours is unbalanced, it's because it's unbalanced that you're talking too much.
Yeah. Someone opened the pipe too much.
Because I'll tell you, the Joneses, they know how to talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
Surprising I ended up in a podcast talking.
Right? So anyways, if you're having problems with sore throat, nasal issues, TMJ, those types of things, it could be your throat chakra is unaligned. A hard time finding the words or expressing yourself.
Right.
Number 6 is actually my favorite chakra.
Oh,
If I know, isn't it like you have a favorite chakra? Isn't that
Yeah.
weird? But when we go out and see things that are chakra related and they have the third eye symbol on them, it's always the things that I want because I'm a psychic. So
Yeah.
So number 6 is your third eye, which is located right here between your eyes. Third
Got it.
eye. And that is dark blue and purple. Some call it indigo is the color that represents that area.
Okay.
So it does kind of go in like rainbow colors, kind
Right.
of. They throw you off a little bit there. But so this controls intuition and imagination and wisdom. When this is clogged, for people like myself, it's hard to see things. It's hard to have visions. And I've talked about this before, that sometimes I'll be just sitting or laying in bed and I'll put my thumb to my third eye. And I did that even before I realized that I was a psychic, because I will actually get pressure there
Yeah.
if I'm not paying attention or if it's clogged, like I
Yeah.
said, unbalanced. And then I put pressure there.
Yeah.
And when it's balanced, I don't have to do that.
Mhm.
You ever feel that? Because you're starting to develop these things.
Well,
too.
yeah, I feel, it's funny about that chakra is that I thought, now that I'm learning about him, I never even knew that it was there
Right.
or that it was open.
Mm-hmm.
But as I'm walking down this road, in this path, I can see that it has been. I just didn't know
Mhm.
that it was there and it was of use.
Right.
Now, I wouldn't say it's totally unclogged. I'm still learning that.
Mm.
But, or knowing that it's open
Mhm.
and when to tap into that. I don't know how to put it.
Yeah. No, I understand.
So I catch myself doing that. And it's
Yeah.
funny. It's almost like a staple when people are thinking
Uh-huh.
is to touch your forehead,
Yeah.
and that's interesting. Is what is that?
Right. I really think that
Human instinct to want to do
Mm.
that.
because I think when you put pressure on it, for me at least, I can tune in better. Like if I'm just not getting something, or
Mm-hmm.
there's certain things that you can send telepathically or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to do that. I've done that for a long time. And it really, for me, it feels like it's like a connection when you push on it. And I think even because, like I said, I was doing this before I knew I was psychic. I think we just instinctively know that we have this third eye and this ability, and that if we do look into it a little bit, it'll help us. Most people don't realize that it is helping them, that their intuition is always helping them.
Oh, yeah.
Marina actually mentioned it to us the other day that she was starting to hear like little tips, things that she should do, like, just whatever, random things. And she'd be like, why didn't I think of that? And I'm like, that's a message right there. That's your third eye opening up. You don't know it, but it is.
Yeah.
It's their way of putting things through to you. A lot of times I get those little tips, those little, just small things to go about my day. And they're so random, but it really is. It's your third eye opening up.
Yeah, I get those little nagging things that seem irrelevant.
Yeah.
But I think it's it's sort of trying to show you that if you trust those, then there'll be bigger things.
Right.
Greater things.
Well, here's a kind of embarrassing story that I can tell you as one of those things, okay? So I have my pet sitter. We've talked about that. I have a lot of pet sits that are midday sits when people are at work. And I have one in particular that I've done for probably 4 or 5 years. And every Thursday when I go there, the gardeners have been there. So I have to lock the back gate. So for the first, up until like 6 months ago, so we'll say 4 years, I was going through the garage out to the side to lock the gate, which is going out 2 locked doors, okay, and walking through the house into a part I don't have to go into. Mm-hmm. One day, I'm just sitting out there, and I'm like, I need to go lock the gate, and I'm like, why don't you just go through the side yard? Because there's a side yard. I could just walk through the side gate. Super easy, much easier than I've been doing for the past 4.5 years. And I was like, why did I not think of that? And so I asked myself when those things happen, how is it that after 4.5 years, all of a sudden it was so clear to me that I've been walking through, the hard route? Right. Because they finally told me, hey, guess what? There's an easier route. Mm-hmm. So that's an example of what we're talking about here when you get those kinds of messages. They can be much more complicated, or they can, Right. But yeah.
No, that's a good example. I think one for me would be that in this process with the music was at the very beginning when your gift was really kind of really open and you were realizing this, and I was sort of asking questions about the music, and it was, again, that story about this wooden carousel.
Yeah.
And so we couldn't quite figure out what that message was. So I ended up, having another person that came in that was playing in the group one of the roles and bass, and it just wasn't working out once we got the new drummer. But the funny part is when Rich, who's now the current bass player, he just sort of, I knew him.
Yeah.
I tried out for his band way out back in the 90s when mine broke up. So I knew of him. I didn't know him really close, like personal. Mm-hmm. So I was going through the Rolodex in my mind of who can we call? We don't have a bass player,
Right. And
all of a sudden it was like that same exact clear. Kind of feeling.
Like, duh.
Or thought, like, hello. And I'm like, why didn't I even think of that?
But you know why, right?
Well,
It wasn't the right timing.
Well, it wasn't the right timing.
Yeah.
So but it's kind of funny how they either kept me from thinking that until then, or just, because it kind of felt like an afterthought.
Right.
And like, God, if I wouldn't have thought of him.
Right.
And then when I mentioned him to Milo, he's like, oh yeah, probably about 4 or 5 years ago, I was playing with him, this other guy, and I'm like, why didn't you mention that?
But it's a great example that you bring that up of how they will do that as well, because I truly believe that you were not told that until it was the right time, because I agree, yeah. That any other time to have him come in wouldn't have been good.
Right.
So it was their timing. Right. So again, like in that kind of situation, if you're one of those people that all of a sudden you hear that and you're like, well, that can't be, right. Please don't not listen to it. Because it sure can be. And they do tell us these things at the right time, too.
I mean, besides Milo, in that sense, he was a godsend. It was like, boom. Like, just thought it, and it was like a message away, and it boom, it happened almost just like Milo. It was like I thought I'd been thinking about him, so that was the message was coming through, and I was sort of trying to maybe ignore it or deny it, and then finally they were just like, just stop fighting it.
You got to stop fighting those.
It was like a message or a phone call, and boom, literally done. Same thing with Rich. Both came in that same way of, like you said, like, duh, why don't you use the side gate?
Right, exactly. So that's your third eye chakra. We got a little off track, but that's okay.
Sorry.
As we do. Let's see. Let me make sure that I gave you guys all of this. So when it's blocked, you'll have a hard time accessing your intuition, trusting your inner voice. When it's aligned, you'll see more, but you'll also avoid things like drama, because once that's open and you see things so clearly, you don't want anything to do with it. So I found that interesting that it pointed that out in the articles that I read, was that if you're like a drama seeker, that's stored in your third eye as well.
That's one thing that's changed dramatically for me.
Oh, yeah. When you become spiritual, the drama level, you can't handle it.
Yeah, it's just too much.
I don't want it. The last chakra is your crown chakra. And I actually enjoyed doing the research on this one the most, because what I discovered is that all of your other chakras can be balanced, but your crown chakra may not be, because your crown chakra isn't fully open until you are more spiritual and become more enlightened. So if you're completely closed off to this stuff, your crown chakra, it might not balance. It might not open properly. So the crown chakra is at the top of your head. It is represented by the color violet. When it's aligned, you're connected spiritually. When it's blocked, you feel disconnected. And you know what? Even as a professional psychic, I can tell you that there are days that I feel blocked, that I feel like what's going on. Like I'll get like the details, but they won't be clear. It's like, you got to go line your chakras, clear that crown and third eye chakra out. And this really showed me, it proved that to me. But it often only fully opens through things like meditation and yoga and other spiritual practice. If you're sensitive to light, get a lot of headaches, have autoimmune disorders, again, your crown chakra might be blocked. Again, I got all those things.
Is essentially the way to
balance my chakras.
Unblock or balance any of your chakras is meditation, really? Or
it is. Yes, there are several ways that you can do it, and that's actually the next thing that we're going to get into is how to balance them. So that's a good segue. One of the ways that you can balance that's probably the most easy is through meditation, just basic chakra meditation. There's actually one that I really, really like on YouTube. I played it for you for a second today to try and find out what the guy's accent was.
Oh, that's what that was?
Uh-huh. I listen to that one a lot because his voice is so different. It's so soothing. It's something European, I think, like you were saying. I don't know. I'm not real sure, but it's really soothing. It's called, let's see, where did I write it? The guided meditation is by Great Meditation is the name of the company. So if you search on YouTube, Great Meditation, that's their profile name. It's the one that I like is called 10-Minute Chakra Balance Guided Meditation for Positive Energy. And he goes through each chakra individually and talks about bringing light into that chakra and releasing what you don't need from it. And it's very soothing and very mellowing.
Cool.
So
like to try that.
I'll put that on our page when I post this podcast so that it's accessible. I really recommend it as a good start. It's only 10 minutes, so it's not a lot of your day, I use that. But one of the ways that I use the most is in my shower meditation, as I was talking about earlier. After I do my grounding, I'll do my chakra meditation in there. And what I do is I go to each chakra. So I start at the root and I imagine that each one has a little wheel, because that is what a chakra, it's called. It's a wheel. So I imagine like a little pinwheel or windmill, and it's turning counterclockwise, right? And depending on how it's turning is if that chakra is blocked. You're using your intuition for this.
Okay.
You have to really tune into that area of your body and be honest and say, does it feel like this wheel is moving at a normal rate? Does it
Should
look
they all
blocked?
be turning counterclockwise?
They should all be going the same direction.
Counterclockwise.
Well, it's up. I don't think it matters. I think everybody's different. I don't.
Oh, okay.
I've never seen where it says
You
they
just
need to
said
go one way.
counterclockwise.
That's
so
what
thought
I
that's-
do.
Okay.
I just because it's your own kind of
All right.
you know thing that your own meditation. So then I look to see how it's moving. Is it moving freely? Is it gunky? Does it have buildup? That's what I start looking at. I start imagining things like dirt on it or whatever. And if it's not moving at a good speed, I take my little imaginary toothbrush and I clean my windmill. I clean that chakra's windmill until it's going at whatever the normal speed of my chakras is, which you start to learn and you'll see as you align them what they just normally do. So then once that chakra is turning at a normal rate and you have released the bad energy from it, then you move up to the next one. And do the same thing on each one. And you'll feel different on each one that you go through. Once it's open, you'll feel a little bit more relaxed in those areas, especially like I feel it the most in my heart and my throat chakra. I mean, everybody's different, but that's where I feel the release the most is like, I did, it's all going the same way now. It's all, so that's one. I don't know if I learned that somewhere, if I just came up with that myself. But I do have certification as a Reiki master. I am level 2 Reiki master, and Reiki is something else that you can do to balance your chakras. And this is something that I've done for you. Actually, I did this recently that I balanced your chakras, whether you realized it or not. I think I told you when your back was bad and I was going through each center and I was saying that there was one spot that was really, really hot, but that wasn't the area that your pain was in. So when you do Reiki, there's a couple different ways you do it, but when you're balancing the chakras, you're going through each energy center. And what I visualize, if I'm doing it on you, for example, is I open it like a little door, like there's a little door there and I flap open the door. And just like my little pinwheel, there's inside of this door is your pinwheel. And I look and I feel, and in Reiki, you're going over the energy centers with your hands. So you're feeling the energy come out. The energy, like when I did Danny's back the other day and we got to the area that was really tense, I could feel from your back to my hands really, really hot. Yeah. And I think you noticed it too. Yeah, I could
feel it between us.
So what I do as a healer, what another Reiki master would do is we extract that. We, in our minds, pull that energy out of your body. We visualize that energy being removed from your body. It's a lot more than like with our own that you can just clean. You have to remove it.
Right.
And I mentioned to you this last time that I don't know if I've mentioned before that you do take on that.
Yeah,
a healer will take on
it in your hands.
I feel it in my hands. I started getting some back pain, but I just meditated out. So the energy has to go somewhere.
Yeah.
Because
absolutely,
it doesn't just disappear. So your Reiki master takes on your energy and then gets rid of it. So when they do chakra balancing on you, and you can learn to do this on yourself. When you do it on yourself, you're just kind of putting your hand in front of you instead of like somebody else you're on them or balancing above.
Right.
But as you go down each one and you're releasing those things, the person actually does usually feel better and responds amazingly.
You've done it to me twice, and I could feel it both times.
When I first got my certification, Tim's wife, I did Reiki on her. She was my first one besides you that I had practiced on. And I didn't know anything really about her. And so I was doing the Reiki and balancing her chakras and got to her stomach. And there was so much stomach tension. And so I said to her, I'm like, do you have stomach problems? And she was like, oh, yeah. And started telling me about her stomach problems. Wow. And that was the area that, was the most, I felt the most warmth from. So this is another reason why I say that chakras are very real. Yeah. Because you can feel it as you go through each center, how blocked it is. It's wild.
Right.
I don't know if there's enough information on Reiki to do a whole episode on it.
Right.
So I figure I would just squeeze it into this one a little bit.
I'd be curious to know the origin of chakras, like how far that goes back.
Yeah.
That knowledge.
Yeah, I didn't look into that. I definitely can. Most of this stuff is,
This doesn't sound like it was just come up by
No.
some, what's the word I'm looking for?
I don't know.
New age kind of.
No, it's definitely not. It's
millennial or something. It doesn't sound like. It sounds like it's been around a very, very long time.
I'm sure it has. Yeah, I'm sure it goes back to a lot of the spiritual enlightenment ages and
Right.
Buddha and those types of things. But I that's a good thing. I didn't look into that. I should.
Yeah, I would
Absolutely.
be curious to know how long that's been around. I
Yeah.
have a feeling it's been a very long time.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it has. Like most of this stuff. But a little bit more just about Reiki while we're on that is, let's see, it really can treat many conditions. It can reduce chronic pain. It's not just for your energy centers. If you have pain in some area, whatever it may be, like your neck, I get a lot of shoulder pain. You can do Reiki just on that area by just focusing on pulling the energy, because that's all pain really is it's just overactive energy, if you think about it.
Right.
So you just have to pull it out. There's a lot that we don't know about how our minds and our bodies interact with each other.
Yes.
But they really, really do.
Right.
I think you and I are proof of that through changing our minds, we have changed a lot about ourselves physically, internally.
Yeah.
But if you get a chance to try Reiki, I would. I think it's great for everybody. Like I said, I do it. You can do it long distance, but I think it's better to have somebody in your presence where you can actually physically feel their energy.
Yeah, because I could feel it between your hand and my back. It was like it was almost like a funnel.
Yeah.
As if I could wrap my hand around and feel the warmth of that coming out. It was weird.
Yeah, and it's not like an instant cure.
No.
I think you felt a little bit better after that.
Yeah, it helped. I didn't say it cured.
No, it's just like everything else. It kind of goes along with your care routine. It should just be a part of it, and not what you expect. Oh, that didn't. Not that you said this because you didn't.
Right.
But that didn't work. My back pain's still here. I'm not gonna. I don't believe. No, because everything takes time, especially when you have a chronic issue.
Well, there still is anatomy and molecules and physicality and all this that's part of it. But what they're trying to show you or tell you in this information is that with your mind, you get in tune with those chakras.
Right.
And these things will probably either diminish, if not go away.
Exactly.
Things that you can realistically,
Absolutely.
An amputee's not going to grow a leg back.
Well, no, and I've had
By
a thyroid
focusing on
condition.
chakras.
Right. I've had a thyroid condition my whole life. It's not just going to go away because I balance my throat chakra.
But you can help yourself.
Oh yeah, you definitely can. It's meditation and balancing chakras has made me a stronger person, and it's made me get rid of a lot of medication that was just that I thought was helping me, but it was just clouding my brain, and it has helped me through doing chakra meditations to be able to get off certain things.
Yeah.
So it really can be way more helpful than you even realize.
Sure.
But a couple other ways you can do it is just through yoga. A lot of times your yoga instructor will be helping you to balance your chakras without you even knowing it, especially if they do a guided meditation, which most of them, if not all, do.
Right.
Then let's see. Holistic medicine like cranial sacral therapy, that is another way to balance your chakras. So that's pretty much all I have for you on the chakras. I didn't want to get really clinical on it. Like each chakra has a symbol and it has a word to it. And I was just like, you know what? I don't want to confuse people with all of this stuff. I want to give you the basics of here's what your chakras are and here's how you balance them and here's what it can do for you and here's how to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's cool. I think it's a good starting point.
I think so. Yeah.
Especially for us. 'Cause I learned a lot from what you kind of share with me and stuff. And so I'll usually embrace it now. I mean, I'm a full-on believer. There's no doubt in my mind that all this stuff is A, real, and B, of value.
Yeah.
So I'm not a super duper, I'll read all kinds of literature and shows and things, about it. So I kind of learn more from you, and then we'll go off and kind of. But I wear mine, and I,
chakra bracelet.
Like I have, and I think it helps, honestly.
Oh yeah, I believe in the power of crystals, and we still got to get Lexi in here to do her crystal episode.
Yeah.
But I believe it. You even have the magnetic bracelet too. Isn't that what that one is? The other one?
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. So all of these things, they really work with your body. They do. I believe it. When I first started opening up and having the spiritual awakening and learning about crystals, I used to carry a crystal in my bra. Whatever one I was attracted to, because I felt like it sucked the negative energy out of me. And then you put it into the crystal, like, now I've learned how to get rid of it through meditation, but crystals are amazing.
Well, some people could look at it and go, well, it's just a state of mind. Well, whatever it is, it's made working. A difference. So, just in my overall demeanor and the way I feel, kind of.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And the way that you react to people and the things that you'll tolerate. And, there's a lot of change that comes with this, a lot. And we do talk about that. And, one of the things that comes with this clearing your chakra, like I said, is not wanting to tolerate drama and eliminating the things from your life that bring drama in. And that comes with the spiritual awakening big time, is that I always wondered how like really super spiritual people could just sit there and not like get reactionary, and just after even being talked down to be like, well, peace and love, I know why now. Because it doesn't matter. That's not what any of this is about. And it is all about peace and love. And
I want to spread good energy, there's enough of it in the world. I don't expect to avoid it all ever completely.
Well, yeah, everybody has
but
bad days.
I'm definitely not drawn to it anymore. That's for sure.
No, I'm very drawn actually to eliminating it. At the beginning of this process, my mom told me that I was going to have friends that were going to come and go. And a lot of it was going to be based on the way that they acted and the way that they treated us. And for me, eliminating anybody, I'm not saying I'm just dumping people out. What I'm saying is eliminating the drama and the people that are negative towards us or around us, because you want to surround yourself with happy people and like-minded people. And, you start to go through a cleansing. It is. Very cleansing.
But you still, you're around those maybe that don't believe or see it exactly the same. And that's totally okay.
Well, that's not what I'm talking about.
You get a lot of intrigue.
Oh, for sure.
Cool, like people interested in it, like, what's going on?
I get a lot of people that are drawn to me now. I hear people that I haven't heard from in years, and I like that. I really appreciate that. If you're one of those people and you're listening and you've thought about reaching out to me or to us, go for it.
Yeah, for sure.
Because that is what we're here for, and that's the kind of energy I want to put out. It's the energy of I'm better than you, and you didn't do this right, or you should read my mind. Those are the types of things that it's just like, not into it.
No.
I told somebody not to argue on my Facebook last week. Don't argue on my Facebook.
Yeah.
It's my Facebook.
Right.
Peace and love.
You have your own Facebook.
Right. Go argue there. I don't know where we got onto this.
I don't either.
Whatever, we had a few minutes to spare, so you heard us. This is what we do when we're alone, and... I don't even know. We should record ourselves sometimes.
Well, we are right now.
Well, no, I mean without like meaning to really, like here we sit down, we do a podcast, but when we're just going,
it wouldn't be so G-rated though. Probably.
No. It would be. Yeah, that's true. It'd be funny though.
Yeah.
One day you'll read it in the book. Don't worry.
Yeah, for sure.
Books.
Well, that's all you got for that?
That's what I got.
That was good.
I think
it was informational.
I think it was enough information. I don't want to overwhelm. Did you?
Yeah.
Good.
Because I didn't really know. I knew that there were 7. I just didn't know exactly what they all were and everything. So.
Well, I do have the tapestry in my office too. That if you but I'm gonna send you that meditation, and I'm going to put it up on our page, and
Cool.
you guys give it a shot and see if you like it as much as I do.
I like the guy's voice. It's good.
It's very mellowing.
Nice.
I might even do it here in a little bit.
Cool.
Yeah.
I might join you. Well,
Okay.
no, I got to pick up the kid.
Later.
All right. Well, before we wrap it up and say adios, did you have anything else for yourself you want to share?
Well, sure. I will share with you my website where you can get a hold of me. My website is SamanthaJonesPsychicMedium.com, and the podcast and all of that is there. I'm way behind on my blog. If you've noticed that, I do apologize. Taking on a new job with Shine. I
And
love
you had
it.
the medium circle, which
Oh, yeah. I had
went
the-
really good, too.
Yeah, it went well. But yeah, I'm just behind on that.
Right.
So sorry. New job, trying to adjust
That's all right.
and not fall asleep like 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah, that's just getting old. Like, I'm going, we play in April. I'm like 10
Oh,
o'clock. Are you
no.
serious?
Yeah,
Oh my God. I'm going to have to drink like coffee or something, and then that's going to be a nightmare.
it's going to require a nap the day before.
Yeah.
This is old
And the
age.
day after.
I used to be able to like go out until 3 a.m. and then go see my grandma at 6 a.m. No, there would be no way now.
I'm sure I'll pull it out of my rear somehow
Probably.
and pay for it later, but that's all right.
Yeah. Anyways, we're off track again.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay, so that's all you got for you.
That's it.
Yeah, for me, if you want to check my art, djonesartcollection.com or Facebook and Instagram at djonesartcollection. Gypsy Brown, check us out, gypsybrown.com. That's Brown with an E. You can also find us on Instagram at Gypsy Brown Music. Like I said, we are playing April 10th coming up in a couple months at Universal Bar and Grill right by Universal City Walk and whatnot.
In Hollywood.
In Hollywood, North Hollywood.
Yeah,
Thank you.
because we got listeners all over the world.
Yeah, so it's a tiny place. Get your tickets now.
Don't worry. We'll probably be able to put some in the podcast or something. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Give a
well,
little sample.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, something.
Cool. Well, that's all I got.
Yep,
Well, we appreciate everybody listening in this week.
we do. Hope you learned something like we did.
Yeah, I did. And we hope you guys have a great week. And until next week.
Peace and love.